The fiery summer of 1962 in Chile, where the Czechoslovakian national team wrote one of the most tragic and heroic epics in world football history. It was an incredible journey of a golden generation who rose from the status of underdogs to the final against the mighty Brazil. 64 years have passed, and time has etched different marks on their lives. There have been triumphs, quiet turning points, and even painful lows. Let's turn back the pages of the life album of those knights of the pitch from that era. Andrzej Kwasniok embodied the image of a silent but powerful architect in midfield. At the age of 26, the prime of a footballer's career, he played in all 6 matches, not missing a single minute. Although his name wasn't on the scoreboard with goals, Kwasniok's influence was immeasurable. He set the tempo, acted as a ball distribution hub with his excellent aerial ability thanks to his ideal height and intelligence in occupying space. The image of a tall, calm midfielder handling the ball amidst a swarm of opponents became a symbol of the team's solidity that year. Leaving Chile with a silver medal, Kwasniok returned and built a true empire at Sparta Prague. He became an immortal icon, a player of the century in the hearts of the capital's fans. His career was a time of dedication, where he was not just a player, but also a true spiritual leader. Later, he embarked on an adventure playing in Belgium before retiring and returning to coaching. Off the field, Kwasniok was a witty, compassionate man, always willing to help young talents. He lived a simple life, dedicating time to his family and amateur football matches of former star players. A strange consistency was evident in him. On the field, a cornerstone. Off the field, a source of spiritual support. However, on June 2nd, 2007, at the age of 71, the heart of the joking giant stopped beating after a long battle with lung cancer. His passing left a huge void at the Letna Stadium, where he was still remembered as an eternal legend. Josef Masopust was arguably the greatest artist of Czechoslovakia. At the 1962 World Cup, at the age of 31, Masopust showcased a sublime style of football. He scored the opening goal in the final against Brazil, a moment that left the world breathless. His style of play was known as Masopust slalom, delicate, graceful dribbling like that of a skier, effortlessly weaving through opposing defenses. He was not just a midfielder. He was the soul, the controller of the game, with a tactical vision far ahead of his time. Following his glorious 1962 season, Masopust received the European Golden Ball, becoming the first player from the Eastern Bloc to achieve this feat. He continued to play for Dukla Prague before moving to Belgium to play, and later becoming the head coach of the national team. Masopust's life was a testament to humility. Despite being a world superstar, he maintained a simple, gentlemanly lifestyle. He always put the collective good first and was known for his absolute fair play spirit. His flair on the field and his virtue off the field seemed to blend seamlessly into one person. However, that legendary journey ended on June 29, 2015. He passed away in Prague at the age of 84, leaving behind a vast legacy that included not only titles, but also the ethical standards of a professional player. Even now, his statue in front of the Dukla Stadium remains a place where football fans come to pay homage to a knight of the pitch. At 30 years old, Ladislav Novak embodied the steely spirit of Czechoslovakia. As captain, leading the team through all 6 matches in Chile, Novak was a complete left-back, a leader who never backed down. With 75 appearances for the national team, he held the record for the most captaincy at the time. His composure, ability to read the game, and unwavering fighting spirit provided a solid foundation for players like Masopust to shine. On the field, he was a strict commander, but also a protective older brother figure to his younger teammates. Novak's later coaching career was equally brilliant. leading Dukla Prague to numerous championships and spending a considerable amount of time working in Belgium. His personal life was marked by discipline and loyalty. He was a private man, devoted entirely to football and his family. Many say that his toughness on the pitch reflected his honesty and unwavering character off the field. He never chose the easy path, always the right one. On March 21, 2011, this great captain passed away at the age of 79. His death, just a few months after that of his close teammate Jan Popluhar, was like a final promise between two old soldiers. Novak is gone, but the spirit of a captain remains a valuable lesson for future generations of players about dedication and responsibility. Svatopluk Pluskal was the silent moon illuminating the darkest corners of the Czechoslovakian midfield. At 31, Pluskal was a tireless sweeper. In 6 matches at the 1962 World Cup, he performed the dirtiest tasks, tackling, intercepting, and recovering the ball so his teammates could shine. His playing style was simple yet coldly effective. He didn't need elaborate dribbling. A single precise tackle was enough to break up an opponent's attack. Pluskal's sacrifice was key to the smooth functioning of the Czechoslovakian tactical system. After leaving the pitch, Pluskal transitioned to coaching, managing Bohemians Prague and several other clubs. Off the pitch, he was a man of few words, introverted, and extremely humble. He never competed for the spotlight with anyone, content with his supporting role. However, his final years were marked by health problems, stemming from persistent injuries sustained during his playing career. His quiet demeanor on the pitch seemed to strangely influence his life as he chose a peaceful, media-averse life in Prague. On May 29, 2005, Pluskal passed away at the age of 74 due to complications from a stroke. The football world lost a dedicated worker, but his name will forever remain inextricably linked with Massapust, a testament to the power of silent sacrifice. At the age of 26 in Chile in 1962, Jan Popluhar was the best central defender that Czechoslovakian and later Slovakian football had ever produced. With his impressive height and masterful judgment, he was a terror to every striker. But what made Popluhar immortal was not just his talent, but his character. In the match against Brazil, when Pelé was injured and had to stand on the field because he wasn't allowed to be substituted, Popluhar asked his teammates not to tackle the king of football roughly. That action became one of the most beautiful moments in World Cup history, a symbol of noble fair play. Popluhar was later voted Slovakia's Player of the Century. He had a brilliant career at Slovan Bratislava and later at Lyon in France. Off the field, he was a gentle, intellectual man who always upheld traditional moral values. He lived an exemplary life, respected by all his opponents. His career and life were a straight line of integrity. He dedicated much of his time to charitable activities and youth football development in his homeland. But even that tower could not withstand the laws of time. On March 6, 2011, Jan Popluhar passed away in Bratislava at the age of 75. His passing was a great loss, but the noble spirit he left behind on the pitch in 1962 will forever be a beacon illuminating human values in football. Adolf Scherer, at the age of 24, was Czechoslovakia's most fearsome attacking threat at the 1962 World Cup. With 3 crucial goals, especially the stunning brace against Yugoslavia in the semi-finals, he directly opened the door to the final for his team. Scherer possessed a killer instinct with powerful long-range shots and incredibly intelligent positioning. On the field, he was like a hunting leopard, always waiting for the opportunity to finish off his opponent. Scherer's explosive performance that year was one of the biggest surprises of the tournament. After his glory in Chile, Scherer's life took a turbulent turn. He decided to emigrate to France in 1973 to seek new horizons, a decision that made him a stranger in his own homeland for decades due to the political situation. In France, he played for Nîmes Olympique and built a new life from scratch. Scherer was a strong-willed, decisive man who was not afraid to face challenges. His life in exile was a series of relentless efforts to assert himself in a foreign land. He lived a quiet life in southern France, only occasionally returning to his homeland after the darkness of the Iron Curtain had faded. Just when it seemed the hero of that year would enjoy a peaceful old age, Adolf Scherer passed away in France on July 22, 2023 at the age of 85. He was the last member of the starting lineup from the 1962 final to leave this world, closing a glorious chapter in the history of Czechoslovakian football. Without William Cruyff, Czechoslovakia's journey might have ended in the group stage. At the age of 30, Cruyff had an almost unreal, phenomenal tournament. Nicknamed the Black Cat, he made a series of spectacular saves, especially against Hungary and Yugoslavia, earning him the Best Goalkeeper of the 1962 World Cup award. Cruyff possessed the reflexes of a beast and exceptional spatial awareness. Despite making a mistake in the final, no one can deny that he was the hero who led Czechoslovakia so far. After the tournament, Cruyff returned to play for Slovan Bratislava and later for Lokomotiva Košice. His life after retirement was quite quiet. He worked in a sports shop and coached young goalkeepers. Cruyff was a man of few words, often reflecting on the ups and downs of life. He carried the sadness of his mistake in the final for many years, but eventually found peace with his family. A goalkeeper full of ups and downs on the field, but a gentle, simple man off the field. However, on September 1, 2007, the Black Cat breathed his last in Bratislava at the age of 76. He passed away quietly, just as he lived his final years, leaving behind the image of a courageous goalkeeper who had once amazed the world. At 21, Josef Jelinek was one of Czechoslovak's youngest discoveries in Chile. In 5 appearances, Jelinek was a fast and skillful winger. He combined seamlessly with Masopust to create dangerous attacking opportunities. With his youthful energy and enthusiasm, Jelinek never shied away from physical contact and consistently delivered highly accurate crosses. On the pitch, he was a whirlwind on the left wing, an artist of lightning-fast runs. Jelinek's career was later tied to Dukla Prague before he played in the Netherlands for Go Ahead Eagles. After retiring, he spent most of his time coaching youth teams and working in community football organizations. Jelinek is a free-spirited, cheerful, and optimistic man who knows how to balance past glory with present happiness. Off the field, he is a kind grandfather, always telling his grandchildren about his glorious summer days in Chile with undisguised pride. Fortunately, at 84 years old, Josef Jelinek is still alive and well in Prague. He is one of the few remaining living witnesses of that final match, still frequently appearing at commemorative events and serving as an inspiration to young players for his passion and perseverance. Jan Lala, 23, was an indispensable link in the Czechoslovakian defense. He started the first 5 matches and only missed the final due to injury, one of the team's biggest losses against Brazil. Lala is a modern defender, not only good at defending but also very active in supporting the attack. His playing style is based on endurance, high discipline, and excellent situational awareness. On the field, he is a quiet but extremely reliable guardian. After the tournament, Lala became a legend at Slavia Prague with hundreds of appearances. Interestingly, after retiring, he didn't pursue a coaching career, but instead moved into diplomacy, working in Switzerland. His composure and sharp intellect on the field contributed to his great success in his new role. Lala was an intellectual with an elegant lifestyle and was always respected for his erudition. He lived a rich life, traveling between countries, but his heart always remained with Czechoslovakian football. Today, at the age of 87, Jan Lala is still enjoying his peaceful twilight years. He still regularly watches Slavia Prague matches and is the most vivid proof that a football player can achieve great success in completely different fields after retirement. Józef Adamek arrived in Chile in 1962 at the age of 20, making him the youngest player on the team. Although he only played 3 matches and hadn't scored a goal, his energy and skillful individual technique showed promise of becoming a major star. Adamek possessed a magical left foot and a spontaneous style of play. He played with all the confidence of youth, unafraid of world-class opponents. After the 1962 World Cup, Adamek became one of the greatest strikers in Czechoslovakian history. He scored 170 goals in the domestic league and is particularly famous for his hat-trick against Brazil in 1968. After retiring, he became a coach with a strong personality, straightforward and somewhat hot-tempered on the sidelines. However, behind that tough exterior was a kind heart and a burning love for football in his native Slovakia. He dedicated his entire life to Spartak Trnava. His life was a symphony full of brilliant high notes. But on Christmas Eve, December 24, 2018, Józef Adamek passed away at the age of 76 in Trnava. His passing on a family holiday was a poignant farewell to Eastern European football fans, leaving behind the image of a talented striker whose long-range shots electrified the stands. At 28 years old at that World Cup, Józef Kádraba was a real-life fairy tale. He wasn't a fully professional player. Before going to Chile, he was still working at a power plant. Yet, it was he who scored the priceless winning goal in the semi-final against Yugoslavia, sending Czechoslovakia into the final. Kádraba had a powerful, pragmatic playing style and an excellent heading ability. He represented the working class of Czechoslovakia, resilient, hard-working, and always shining when given the chance. In 1967, Kádraba decided to move to Austria to play and settle there, becoming a political refugee after the upheavals in his homeland. In Vienna, he played football for small clubs while also working in the railway industry. His life in a foreign land was full of hardships, but he never regretted his decision. Kádraba was optimistic, cheerful, and possessed extraordinary resilience. He only returned to his homeland after the political regime changed. The fortitude of a worker on the football field seemed to have carried over into his life, helping him stand firm amidst the storms of the times. On August 5, 2019, Józef Kádraba passed away in Vienna at the age of 85. He left behind an inspiring story of how an ordinary person could make his mark in World Cup history. Tomasz Pospichal, 25 years old, played in 3 matches for Chile, including the historic final. He is a versatile, intelligent, and extremely tactically astute striker. Although he didn't score, his off-ball movement and assists contributed greatly to the team's overall play. Pospichal plays with his head more than his muscles, always finding the smallest gaps in the opposing defense. After his playing career, Pospichal became one of Czechoslovak's most legendary coaches, leading Bohemians Prague to their only league title in 1983. He was renowned for his profound and sometimes eccentric football philosophies. Off the field, he was an intellectual, a lover of culture, and possessed a sharp, critical mind. He viewed football as a chessboard, with each player a piece needing to be placed in the right position. His coaching career was full of innovations, but also marked by ups and downs due to his straightforward personality. However, his health deteriorated rapidly due to work pressure and heart disease. On October 21, 2003, philosopher Pospichal passed away at the age of 67. His passing left a huge void in the academic world of football, where he is still remembered with his classic quote, "Football has no logic, football is life." At the age of 22, Josef Štibrani scored the only goal against Spain in their opening match, helping Czechoslovakia create the first shock of the tournament. It was a memorable goal, a delicate finish that beat the star-studded Spanish defense. Szczebrani is a winger with excellent speed and penetrating ability. The enthusiasm and confidence of youth helped him shine brightly in the 3 matches he played in Chile. His career was later hampered by injuries, forcing him to retire earlier than expected. Szczebrani then became a physical education teacher, imparting knowledge and a passion for the sport to thousands of students. He lives a simple life in his hometown of Trnava, content with his role as an exemplary teacher. Off the field, he is cheerful, gentle, and very humble when talking about his historic goal. He considers it the result of a collective effort rather than individual achievement. That humility is the most beautiful aspect of his character. It is gratifying that today, at the age of 85, Józef Szczebrani is still healthy. He often participates in fan meet-and-greet events and is a living witness to a golden age of Eastern European football, a teacher who still keeps the flame of passion burning in his aging eyes. Václav Mašek, then 21 years old, etched his name into world football history with a goal just 16 seconds into the match against Mexico. It was a World Cup record that stood for 40 years before being broken by Hakan Şükür. Mašek was a talented striker with incredibly versatile finishing abilities and impressive acceleration. Although he only played 1 match in Chile, that 16-second moment was enough to turn him into a legend. After his playing career, Mašek did not choose a coaching path, but became a mechanical engineer after graduating from university. He was a highly educated man with a logical mind and an extremely disciplined lifestyle. His engineering career was just as successful as his on-field career, as he held many management positions at large factories. Mašek is a testament to the exemplary image of a player intellectual in Czechoslovakia at that time. He lived a peaceful life with his family in Prague, far from the hustle and bustle of the football showbiz world. Now, at the age of 84, Václav Mašek remains sharp-minded and healthy. He is still the pride of Sparta Prague and always appears with a gentle smile at commemorative events, reminding us that sometimes it only takes 16 seconds to become immortal, but a lifetime to maintain one's character. Jiří Tichy, at 28, is a story of readiness and courage. Throughout the tournament in Chile, he was mostly a substitute. But when John Lala suffered an injury before the final against Brazil, Tichy was called up to face Garrincha and Amarildo. Having to play in the biggest game of his life without prior mental preparation was a tremendous challenge. But Tichy played with great effort, helping the Czechoslovakian defense hold firm for much of the match. His career was closely associated with Sparta Prague, where he won numerous domestic titles. After retiring, Tichy led a relatively quiet life, working for local clubs and enjoying the simple pleasures of old age. Tichy was known for his emotional nature, sincerity, and strong sense of camaraderie. He never complained about being a substitute, always considering himself part of a unified team. His career may not have been as brilliant as Masopust's, but his dedication was undeniable. However, the journey of the great substitute ended on August 20th, 2016. He passed away at the age of 82, leaving behind the memory of a tenacious defender who gave his all for 90 minutes in Santiago, a silent hero who fulfilled his mission in the most complete way.